Alrighty, this is gonna be part 2, and I already feel my voice box hurting. So if you hate me, know that I am in pain and laugh at my misery. Thank you. I'm in Dazzle? Whatever the fuck that is. Faye says, this is Dazzle. Citan says, yes, that is right. The desert town of Dazzle. Dazil. I don't know. I'm gonna call it Dazzle. Faye says, this town's lively. Citan says, this is the center for all excavations in Ava. People come from all over Ignis to try and find the resources buried in the ruins around here. We should be able to find out what both Ava and Kislev are up to here. How convenient. And we also have to gather the things we need to repair Weltall. Faye says, repair Weltall? Citan says, yes, we must exchange the broken parts to fix Weltall. Otherwise, it will not be able to function at all. There is an ethos workshop in the southern part of this town. Let us go there, Faye. Okay? Okay. Faye says, yeah, okay, Doc. Let's check this place out then. Alright. I don't know. Oh. Thought there was like a cutscene starting or something. This person says there's a bunch of thieves out in the desert called Sandmen, so equip yourself properly. If you don't, you only have yourself to blame. I think that means I should probably equip myself better. This guy says, the prices are a little high, but we need these things to cross the desert. This guy, I guess, owns a shop. He wants to sell me shit I don't care about. That sucks. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that that's not anything I need to worry about. Let us see. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see, this place, that looks like a shield. That might be good. This person says, hey, I haven't seen you around here before. Don't think that if you cause trouble, you'll get away with it. We're Ava Army Guards. Remember that. Yeah, whatever. Alrighty. This person says, this is the waterworks. All of Dazzle's water comes through this pump. Not probably something I care about. Alrighty, let's check the other side of this town. This looks like a workshop. Let's go in here. I think that robot wants to finger me. That doesn't seem healthy. Faye says, wow, so this is the Ethos Workshop. Huh, Doc. Citan says, yes, the Ethos Workshops are the only place that officially repair gears. Let us see if we can get the parts we need to fix Weltall here. As they say, time is money, so we should do whatever we can do as soon as we are able to. Alright. This guy says, huh? How can we help you? Citan says, sorry to bother you. Our gear has broken down, so I would like to buy some parts to fix it. Tough luck, huh? Can you tell me what make of parts you are after? Citan says, yes. We are hoping to replace an X29 model injection bypass circuit. X29 model injection circuit? That's only used on the latest military models. We do not keep those kind of parts in stock here. You can only get such special parts by placing an order at the Ethos headquarters. This workshop is only for the repair of civilian gears. Citan says, I see. Sorry to have bothered you. They say, sorry, we can't help you. This guy says, don't touch it. It's being repaired. The fuck? I don't know. He's like walked into me, so I can't get away. Oh, I can jump. I forgot. Faye says, Doc, do you have a moment? I need to talk to you. Citan says, yes, of course, Faye. Citan says, so Faye, what did you want to talk to me about? Faye says, well, Doc, it's about Weltall. We can't find the parts we need, so is it alright if we just don't fix it? Citan says, do not repair it. What is the problem, Faye? Faye says, well, we've been able to come as far as Dazzle on our own, so doesn't that show that we don't need Weltall as much as we thought? Actually, I've been thinking that once things cool down, I want to go back to Lahan and help rebuild. That's all I feel I can do now. Citan says, I see. If that is what you want, Faye, then fine. But I think we should try and move Weltall as far away from there as possible. Faye says, move it away? But why do we need to do that, Doc? Citan says, it is only my speculation, but I suspect the incident that evening occurred because the Gebler Special Force stole a Kislev military gear. Faye says, Special Force? You mean Ellie's group? Citan says, exactly. When I examined the broken gear in the village, I realized the Gebler pilot was riding a Kislev gear. It must have had some new technology involved in it for the Kislev army to send pursuit forces after it. Faye says, new technology? Citan says, I suspect that the Gebler force was out to steal a new experimental gear. Citan says, I am sure news of the Special Forces' failure has reached the capital. They will be investigating the Lahan area to reclaim whatever parts of the new gear that they can find. Faye says, hold on, Doc. Won't the Kislev army still be in Lahan too? Citan says, most probably, and in that case, there will be a conflict between Ava's inspection team and Kislev's pursuit troops. If they find where we have hidden Weltall, Faye says the army will fight over who gets Weltall and right near Lahan too. Citan says, so to avoid any problems, we should move Weltall somewhere else right away. Faye says, but we can't fix it in order to move it. Citan says, right, but staying here will solve nothing. Fortunately, this is the center of all excavation work in this country. There is bound to be some information on where we can find parts. Anyway, the fear is often worse than the danger itself. We should not let such fears hold us back. Cool. So, where the fuck do I go? Let's see. I think I just went in there and they told me to fuck off, so let's go elsewhere. That guy won't talk to me. Alright. Yeah, we did it! Who'd have thought it would go so well? Sneaking in the night. This sure is a noisy place. Well, in a place like this, you have to expect this kind of atmosphere. Faye says, yeah, but even so... Shut up! Yep, I think he's drunk. I think that guy's name is Joe. Yeah. Why are y'all yapping when Big Joe is here trying to drink in peace? Can't y'all shut up? And then he hiccups. Who do you think you are? I don't care if you're Big Joe or Big Schmo. You don't mess with me. Big Joe says, oh ho ho ho. Yeah, you sure talk big. Can you dig for treasure as good as you talk? What's that you say? Big Joe says, you're so tough, always looking for junk laying around. Why don't you do something more productive for once? If you ask me, you're a big... Wow, it sounds like he was gonna say pussy. His friend's like, hey, stop it. This guy's trouble. He's looking wild. Aw, shut up. Just shut your trap. Big Joe laughs. Ho ho ho. That's right. Run home to mama, little boys. Damn you. Big Joe laughs. Cowardly little punks. Citan says, why, this man sure likes to make his presence felt. Apparently this is an inn. Big Joe is wasted. Booze is my life companion, especially in a sucky world like this. Everyone's searching for dough and dynamite. How unromantic. Do I need to, like, take a nappy poo? Not really. Okay. Moving on. What do you want to buy? Asks the merchant. Alright. Evade value +2, huh? I'm gonna go with defense and attack. Eyeball. I don't know, I think you need that later. I probably don't need that many of those. I know she's got the better weapon equipped. Alrighty. This guy's in a fix. The generator sensor is broken. It's the only thing that can sense buried gear generators. Without that, I'm ruined. Apparently that's a pun. Citan says, this is a sand buggy. That's it, Faye. I have thought of a good way to get the parts we need for Weltall. First, we have got to find out who will rent us this buggy. Faye says, sand buggy? Citan explains that a sand buggy is a special car made for the desert. Its tires do not sink into the sand, so it is a must for long trips into the desert. Faye says, so then, Doc, what do you plan on doing with this sand buggy? Citan says, well, leave it to me. Just you wait and see. Alright. This guy says, this is the guard station. This town is important because it's the base for excavating the ruins. The elite of our army are stationed here. Whoopsie. Guess I left town on accident. Let's find out who rents out the sand buggy, I guess. How do I get to the top there? Rental office. The hell would that be? I don't know. I guess I just gotta walk through all the buildings again. That guy apparently thinks he's smart due to his theories. This lady thinks the town is lively. That's that thief person from before. Maybe inside will be the rental place. Yeah, that guy just says he heard a rumor that a nearby village was attacked. I assume that's Lahan. I don't know, that guy talks too much, I don't care. Okie dokie. Maybe let's try going back in here. Yeah, they don't rent out the sand buggy, I guess. This person says, I hear there are parts for your gear that increase its performance just by equipping them. I wonder if they have parts here. Somehow I doubt it. This person says they can't sell anything to civilians. Alright. None of these people have anything interesting to say, really. I think that's that bar again. Rental office. Oh my gosh. Maybe it's this building? Alright. Never saw you before. You want to rent a sand buggy, huh? Yes, that is correct, says Citan. Do you have any we can rent right now? Of course. The keys are in the ignition. You can take it. Citan says, well then, if I may. Faye, I'm going into the desert to search for parts for Weltall. Faye says, going to the desert, Doc? Are you going to excavate some ruins or something? Citan shakes his head no. He says the Kislev and Ava armies are confronting each other in the desert all the time. There is talk that their forces often break into battle over the ruins. Faye says, what does that have to do with that gear? Citan says, if I search the battlefields for the wrecks of such army gear, I should be able to find the parts we need. Besides, Weltall is a Kislev gear, so we need parts from Kislev gears. Faye says, but... Citan says, Fee, you're such a worrier. Things have a way of working out. You do not need to worry so much. Why not go kill some time at the bar till I get back? Faye goes, Doc... Hey, are you letting him go out there alone? Lots of fights break out in the desert. It's a real dangerous place. I've heard about a group of pirates riding around attacking people on a sand cruiser. You really shouldn't let him go out there by himself. Okie dokie. I guess I'm supposed to go outside and look for him. Okie dokie. What are they? Are they Ava gears? I'm worried about Doc, says Faye. Guess I may as well follow those gears. Okie dokie. Level up. How far has Doc gone, says Faye, and now I've lost sight of those gears too. Faye says, what's happening? He exclaims as a giant UFO flies over his head. What the heck is that thing, he wonders. A different unit. Are they going toward the direction the saucer went? I'd better follow them so as not to lose sight of them, says Faye. Okay, I learned something called Sensetsu. Oh, okay. Does this desert ever end? It'll get dark soon, so I better hurry up and... What's going on here? Gears, a flying saucer, and now these guys. I hope Doc's alright. Yeah! Sorry about that. Just let me borrow this for a while, as he steals the motorcycle, abandoning some dude in the desert alone. Uh-oh. It's a gear. Or two. Faye says, what's with you guys? Aren't you overreacting a little for just stealing a motorcycle? Apparently someone has helped Faye by shooting the other gears. He exclaims, ah! Apparently it's Weltall. Satan must have done it. Faye, I was looking everywhere for you. Doc, you're alright? Satan says, yes, of course. Satan says, looks like we don't have time to chat. Alright, Satan is letting Faye know that he should hurry. Hurry and do what? I cannot use Weltall very well. Only you can use its full potential. Hurry up and get on board. Alright, says Faye. He boards his Weltall thingy. Okie dokie. Faye says, I don't know how, but I beat them. Someone is laughing. Faye says, what the? What a fancy place to stand. Some mysterious man in black says, your hot-blooded desire for battle has not been tamed, I see.
Who are you? Right. I know you. You killed her. It wasn't. Not me. Coward. It was you.
Faye says, you're the one from Lahan. Satan says, here we go again. The man in black reveals that his name is Graf. He is the seeker of power. He says you certainly showed how much power you had back there in Lahan, didn't you, Faye? Faye says, how much power I had? What are you talking about? Graf says a greater power is what I need to fulfill my mission. He says he sent those gears into that land as a catalyst to awaken the power in him, to make a contract with him. Faye says, as a catalyst? You mean you caused that intentionally? Graf says, that's right. The death of your loved ones, and you powerless against it happening. The grief, the screams from your heart, born out of the tragedy. There, that was the catalyst for triggering your power. Faye says, you mean you attacked my village just to get me in that gear? Why? Why did the villagers have to die? Graf says, who cares why? It does not matter how many of them died. They were wretched vermin, only living from day to day without ever fulfilling their prescribed destinies. And have you forgotten? You were the one who destroyed the village. I did not lift a finger. Faye says, no, I was just trying to save the village and its people. I never intended to destroy it. Graf says, is that really so? Surely you have heard it. It is the very essence of you, the voice of desire from within you that craves destruction. Faye says, shut up. Even if that were true, aren't you still the one who caused it? If you hadn't come, the village wouldn't have suffered the way it did. Graf says, ah, so now you resort to blame. I see. That sounds like something you would say. That's good. Your basic nature remains unchanged. Faye says, crap. You said you need my power? What were you intending to do with it? Graf says, you know very well, it is to destroy Mother God. Destroy God, says Faye. Graf says, yes, we will destroy God. That is our purpose. That is our destiny. Faye says, don't be ridiculous. I won't get involved in such a thing. If you want to destroy your God or whatever it is you're going on about, do it yourself. Graf laughs at him and says, you resemble your father. Faye says, my father? You mean my dad? You know my father? Graf says, that was a most delightful scream. I was enthralled by it. Nothing is more beautiful than a scream of death. Faye says, what did you do to my father? What happened between you two? Graf says, do you really wish to know? There is no use in you knowing it now. Faye goes, what? Graf says, your power is still beneath that needed for my purposes. Anything unusable must be tried until it becomes suitable. Faye says, what? He does that a lot, apparently. Some monster thing is coming out of the sand. Faye says, what the hell is that? Graf says, what will you do, Faye? If you die here, then so be it. You may indeed gain some happiness from not knowing, but surely that is not what you truly want. If you want to know the truth, and that is what you want, isn't it, Faye? Then this is what to do. You must show me that you have attained the level of strength I require. To do that, you must destroy others by using your own strength. Then you will gain all that was lost in exchange for that scream of death. Graf continues laughing. Graf appears to be fleeing. Faye says, wait, we're not finished talking yet. But, you know, the monster's attacking. Let's see. Alright. Okay, it died or something. I leveled up again. Citan says, Faye, are you alright? Citan screams Faye's name again. Faye comes out. He says he's fine. The gear seems to be broken, though. I'm so glad that you are unharmed, said Citan. The gear had only temporary repairs made on it. They were not made to survive an outright battle like that. Citan says Faye's name again. 2 gears appear. Satan says, "Oh no, the Ava military. Not now. Faye, I think we should remain calm." Faye just looks distraught and is being silent. Satan calls out Faye's name again. And the screen fades to black. Looks like we've been captured.
Let us join together. I never thought we'd meet again like this. It must be fate. Ironic. But I'll never let you have him. Even if it kills me.
Satan says, "How are you, Faye? Did you sleep well?" Faye says, sort of." Satan says, "Sorry I messed up. I was careless. That gear is a top-secret experimental model from Kislev. It was only natural that Ava would also be madly searching for it." Satan continues, "Faye, are you hurt? You do not look so well." Faye says, "Well, I suppose you could say I was hurt." Satan says, "That man in black spoke of your father's fate. Is that what is wrong?" Faye says, "There is that too, but it's the other stuff he said. What happened at Lahan was all planned to get me to ride in that gear, so he claimed. That's got me worried." Satan says, "To get you to ride in that gear?" Faye says, "Doc, before the village was destroyed, I lived without doubting myself. But it's different now. I don't know who I am. I never felt like this before." Satan says, "Well, we cannot do anything as long as we are prisoners, even if we wanted to. Let us rest a little. Maybe it will sort your feelings out a little." I say, "Good idea." Well, Faye says, rather. Satan says, "It was him. No mistake. There was no coincidence." Maybe he's thinking that. Could it be that we are approaching the time of the gospel? The Emperor says, "Yes, the gospel. We are the people expelled from paradise and forced to live on the cruel surface of the earth." This appears to be taking place in Satan's mind, because there's a bunch of abstract paintings floating around. The Emperor continues, "We who fill this land will once again return to the presence of God in paradise and live there eternally. That is the time of the gospel. That time is at hand. We, the Gazelle, must find God's resting place by then and resurrect him. That is our final prayer." Satan says, "Our final prayer?" The Emperor says, our final prayer to escape from the fate that was determined at our genesis. Citan says, Majesty, is this the end? Or thought it in his head, rather. It appears the military vessel we are on is getting attacked. Bingo, just as the report said, an Ava transport. And look at what we have on top. No mistaking it, that's a new Kislev model. It has to be the stolen gear everyone is after. Whatever the case, there's no way we are going to let that Shakan guy have it. Gunner. Turret A Anton and Turret B Belta can initiate their ectropometers 20 seconds after opening their hatches. Franz. I don't hear anything other than the flowing sound of the sand. No suspicious radar activity detected. Marseilles. Matria's units are on standby at the catapults. They'll all be able to launch 1 minute after we resurface. Good, let's do it. Batcon level 1. Surface combat ready. Torpedo room ready. Anti-gear guns ready. Navigation and engineering are also ready. Young Master, what is happening? What was the alarm about? Not again, Young Master. Hold on a second. Battle stations, everyone. Surface navigation begin operating the sand pump. Prepare to fire starboard cannons upon surfacing. Young Master. Trim to the right. The wind is strong up there and we may be blown off balance. Jericho, hand the helm over to me. Citan says, look, what is that? It's like a sand submarine. Citan says, a sand cruiser. It must be those desert pirates. It's firing weapons. Alternate firing between A Anton and B Belta. Calculating adjustments. Aw yeah. Switch modes over to salvos after the initial shots. Let's slow them down. Get ready to give them a spanking they won't forget. Young Master, please wait. It may just be a requisitioned ship, not a warship. Let me handle this. Whether it's a warship or not, it's carrying a new gear. Gunner, let him have it. Pow. Citan says, uh-oh. Citan says, judging by the angle, it seems as if a gun blast has made a hole in the hull. We will probably sink within minutes. Face has a few minutes. Doc. Citan says, it is locked. Somebody free us. Arg. Well, well, well. Let's get out of here, Doc. Titan says there's a switch for the sand barrier door on the right wall there, but be careful, once it is closed, it cannot be opened again. My, my. It's pretty hard to see. Titan learned a new move. Ukigumo. I received a leather vest. That's great, I guess. Alright. Let me make sure I'm healed, because... yeah. Woo, that was close, says Titan. Sand immediately began flooding up as soon as I got up there. Can't go that way. Because, sand and stuff. Yeah, it's really hard to see. Titan just leveled up. Where the heck do I really? Wow, I take like one step and I get attacked. Very hard to like see. Upscaled Titan. Okay, I think I got up there now. Faye says, Doc, where did you go? Doc? Titan says, Faye, can you hear me? I am moving the crane towards Waytall's cockpit. Hurry, go to the crane to Welltall. We are going under fast. Faye says, I got you, Doc, but when you're done, you hurry up there too, okay? Oh, am I supposed to go over there? Nah, I don't have control. What is going on? Okay. Guess I'll jump down this crane. Is there like a ladder? I don't understand. Go back in. Faye, there's no time to go back. Okay. What the hell do I do? Damn, Welltall's stuck in the sand. Uh-oh. Says Titan. Did I take too long? Yeah, I guess I fucked some shit up. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm not really in the mood to redo that. Alright, where'd you go? Can you hear me? I'm moving a crane towards Welltall's cockpit. Hurry, up. Go up the crane to Welltall. We are going under fast. I got you, but when you're done, you hurry up there too, okay? Am I supposed to jump, maybe? Oh, Jesus. Ah. Ooh. Oh, really? Alright. Man, these controls are awesome. Ooh. Oh. Alright, hopefully that's what I was supposed to do. Here we go again, says Faye. You and I seem to have a fated relationship. As he boards Welltall. Come on, Doc, over here. Hurry up. Titan says, woo! Titan says, whoops. Faye says, are you okay, Doc? Ha ha ha. Well, Dr. Titan Uzuki, feels like you have sacked your Sacules and tickled your Utricles enough for one lifetime. Wow, dizzy. Sorry about that, Doc. I didn't have time to open up the cockpit. Are you really okay, Doc? Titan says, Faye was only joking. Riding in the hand was not so bad. I can see what is so good about this top-secret experimental Kislev machine. Faye says, yeah, when I started it up, it began doing all kinds of stuff by itself. The environmental response system and weight reduction, hovering, kicked in straight away, automatically. Titan said, really? Amazing. Save yourselves, but leave your friends to sink in a sea of sand. Don't you believe in comradeship? Says a mysterious voice. It's not very manly of you two to leave your platoon to die while you run away in a gear, you know. Faye says, wait one moment, we're not Ava soldiers. The pirate says, can't you make a better plea for your life? You come jumping out of an Ava ship and claim that you are not Ava soldiers? Stop trying to fool me. Faye says, I tell you it's true. The pirate says, how pathetic are you? Even if you're the pettiest of soldiers, how's about showing a little spine and put up a decent fight? Faye says, stop it. I'm telling you I'm no soldier. I don't want to fight. The pirate says, how nauseating. Why don't you stop grumbling, leave the gear, and run away? The pirate continues, for someone who doesn't want to fight, you're quite powerful. I see, an all-environment model, so that's it, huh? Now I want it even more. Oh no, this is not good, the pirate says. In the heat of battle, I go get caught in quicksand. Darn, me of all people. The pirate says, damn, it's all your fault. Boy, are you going to get it later. So be darn ready. Faye says, why? Hey, come down here now. I'm not gonna kill you. All I want is for you to leave this gear, says the pirate. Hey, you're not an Ava soldier, says the pirate. Faye says, I told you that in my intercom transmission earlier. You're the one who refused to listen to me, right? Says Faye. Ha ha ha, sorry, yes, I remember you were saying something like that. I went off half-cocked and thought you were the enemy. My name is Bart. I'm the pirate that works this territory. Faye says, my name is Faye. I was arrested for no apparent reason, shoved into that Ava transport ship, and was nearly going to be sent to a concentration camp until you went and blew the thing to blazes. Anyway, I'm just glad to have been able to survive. Bart says, I see. Well, I'm glad I at least helped you out a little bit, but I didn't expect a civilian like you would be riding in a military gear. Besides, this gear is a brand new model. I've never seen this type before. Faye says, let's just say that a lot of things have happened. It wasn't like I wanted to pilot it. Where are we anyway? It looks like we fell into one weird place. I've never heard of huge stalactite caves such as this existing under the desert before. What? Says Bart. You don't know anything, do you? Where are you from? The desert only covers around 1,000 charles of the outer layer of the earth, the stratum underneath that consists of igneous rock. Faye says, from a sea of trees to a sea of sand, and now a stalactite cave. What's next? Bart says, what are you talking about? Faye says, oh, nothing. Never mind. Bart says, we're in trouble. Look, the hole we fell through has disappeared. We'd better find some other way out. So you want to call a truce for now? At least until we find an exit and get out of here? Faye says, yes. Agreed. First, we gotta find the way out of here, so let's get going. Okie dokie. Someone on board a different ship is saying, whew, thank God, I didn't want to dry up and die in the desert. Hey you, I know you're tired, but don't go any further than there. Shut up, you sunk our ship, don't you forget that. No, you shut up, just be thankful that you were saved. Oh, okay, I think this is the pirate ship, and they rescued the Ava survivors, and they're all arguing now. This person says, excuse me, is there anyone who is almost dead with no arms and legs or in need of an abdominal operation? No one? Well, that's depressing. I think that's a doctor or a nurse or something. Satan says, I see, so your young one has not just been shooting at everything and everything then, Sigurd. Sigurd replies, yes, he actually calculated this attack, or so he says. As you can see, no one has died this time either. Sigurd, sir, the collection of the goods and soldiers from the Ava transport is almost complete. We still can't locate the young master. General Matrius' platoon will scout around again. Sigurd says, okay, I'm counting on you. Yes, sir. Since I'm part of the unit, I'll also excuse myself. Satan says, so what happened to this young one you call Master? Sigurd says, he fell into an underground cave with that other guy in a gear. It's near an old excavation site, and he is riding in a gear, so he'll probably be able to come up somehow. We'll try to find him for a while, and if that doesn't work, then we'll wait for him at our meeting point. Satan says, you seem to trust him a lot. Sigurd says, trust him? Yeah, I trust they'll get us into trouble. Sigurd continues, but I never thought I would meet you here, Hayu. Satan says, it is not coincidence. It is an inevitable consequence, I assume. Sigurd says, Hayuga, are you saying something is about to happen? To Dr. Satan. So I guess he has another name from some other place. Kind of confusing. Alrighty. So I have fallen down some strange hole, and why can't I move? Oh, my controller's been acting wonky. Alright, let's just fucking check this place out, I guess. Bart says, hey Faye, my sensors are responding to something. There appears to be quite a large cavern on the other side of here. If we can get rid of this rock, but I don't think it's possible. Okay. Why tell me things that are not possible? Alright, I walked up to it and they say, Bart says, what can we do with this? I doubt you can break it. Faye says, I guess we could try pushing it. Bart says, wait, no matter how you look at it. He's interrupted by Faye, who says, what the heck are you doing? Hurry up and help. I guess they push it out of the way. Faye says, we can get by if we help each other. Let's keep it up so we can get out of here. Bart says, the hydromechanic pipe for my knee joint is on the verge of breaking down. It's all because of that fall from the ceiling, followed by pushing this mega colossal boulder. It won't be funny if my gear malfunctions in a huge cavern like this. Faye says, your friends won't come and help us? Bart says, it'd be a waste of time waiting. They probably won't come. Faye says, but aren't they your friends? Bart says, we believe in a liberal upbringing. They'll think we can escape by ourselves. Faye says, I wonder if Doc's okay. Bart says, don't worry about the man you were with. I'm sure our guys saved him by now. Faye just remains silent, and Bart says, what is it? We wouldn't have fallen in here if you'd only listened to me. Bart says, don't blame it on me, you should have surrendered instead of challenging me. All I wanted was your gear. Faye says, don't be ridiculous. You're the one who blindly attacked me. What else was I supposed to do? I thought I might die if I didn't fight you. Bart says, I was taking it easy on you, couldn't you tell? Then you're a bit dense. Faye says, don't lie to me. I know you were serious. Bart says, what, you want some? Let's have it out, right here. Faye remains silent and Bart continues, wait, settling it right here comes first. I won't be able to get anything done until we settle this once and for all. Faye says, I thought you wanted a truce for now. Getting out of here should come first. Once we're out of here, then, I'll fight you all you want. Let's hurry up and move on out of here. Bart says, I don't like you very much. Damn it, I'll get you when we get out of here. Apparently he doesn't like to be told things that are true. I guess I'm like punching dudes while they're on the ground. That's kind of funny. How do I live without you? I want to know. I picked up a gold nugget. How do I get out of this fucking shithole? Oh boy. Okay. Can I jump up here maybe? Maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. Oh boy. Goodness. Alright. Platforming in an RPG. My favorite. Did I just go back up to where I was? Okay. Obviously I don't want to go back up here. How the fuck do I go then? Oh, okay, there's a door. Gotten some level uppies. I'm in some watery hellhole. Where I'm going because I'm running out of fuel apparently. Okay. Ava excavation site number 8, gear number 3. Tell current situation. Sand sensors have detected an abnormal amount of sand. The sand barrier south of terrace stones has been sealed to prevent sand from entering excavation site. What's with this gear? It's well maintained for a gear just left lying around like this. Okay. Surrounding area info. There's a barrier wall in the southeast of terrace stones that was built to stop the shifting of sand. Until the barrier reopens, please assemble at the shelter located to the east of the barrier wall. Alrighty. Who'd have thought there would be someone living in a place like this? Let's check it out, says Bart. see in this game. Oh, at least we got a save point. Okay, so I guess I got off my gear, entered some cave, and now Bart is saying, "Hey, Faye, this is a surprise. There's someone living in this place." The person living in the place replies, "It's been a while, but I thought I could hear the sound of gears. I assume they are yours? Well, anyway, come on back in here and make yourself at home." "It's been a long time since my last visitor. What happened? Did you fall from the surface?" Bart says, "I guess that's it." The other person says, "I see, that's too bad. I can tell from the sound that you both ride good gears, but the legs seem to be playing up a bit." Faye says, "You mean you can tell what's wrong just by the sound of its footsteps?" The man laughs and says, "It's easy to know what's wrong with gears by the sounds they make. My guess is that one of them needs a new hydromechanic pipe in its joints. It's making a nasty sound. It must be hard to walk with, too. Oh, by the way, the name's Balthazar, but you can just call me Old Man Bal." Bart says, "Oh yeah? So looks like we've got a real fanatic here, huh? What's an old man like you doing in a place like this?" Balthazar says, "I guess you can call me a fossicker or a collector of things. There is much to be found lying around in this here stalactite cavern." A collector, huh? Sounds interesting. I think they mean stalagmite, but whatever. Bart says, "The things on this shelf, are they some of the stuff you have found?" Balthazar says, "You mean the fossils? They're one of the things I collect. Feel free to have a look at them." Alright, Old Man Bal says, "Around here you can dig up ancient machines along with human and animal fossils. Notice anything particular on these shelves? They go from oldest on the left to the newest on the right." Bart says, "Are you an archaeologist or something, old man? I don't quite see what you're talking about. They just look like a bunch of old bones to me. Faye, what do you think?" Faye says, "Let me see. First, there are no human bones up to here. Then from here on over to the right, something is slightly different, I guess." Old Man Bal says, "Yes, from a certain point in time, human fossils suddenly no longer appear. That point is roughly 10,000 years ago." Bart says, "What does that mean?" Balthazar says, "Don't ask me. I don't know for sure, but my guess is there were no humans on this planet before then. At least it appears so." Bart says, "How could that be? What about all that talk about evolution?" Balthazar says, "You mean the theory of evolution as taught by the ethos, right? You can't trust that. Rather, I believe in the old legends and myths." Faye says, "Legends? Myths?" Balthazar says, "Haven't you heard of this story? They say that humans and God live together in a paradise in the sky. With God's protection, there was no fear of death, and natural disasters were entirely unknown. Then one day the humans ate a forbidden fruit, which gave them incredible wisdom. But God drove mankind from the paradise for their sin. Bitter at having been driven out of paradise, humans used the wisdom they had gained to make giants. With these giants, they planned to challenge God himself, but God poured his wrath down on them. All who defied God were destroyed, but God himself did not escape unharmed. Taking paradise with him, the wounded God buried himself deep beneath the ocean to sleep for aeons. Before going to sleep, God used his remaining power to create right-hearted humans to live on this planet. These people are said to be our ancestors." Old Man Bal continues, "Well, anyway, I'll stop my rambling now." Faye says, "By the way, does this cave have..." Old Man Bal says, "An exit?" "There is an exit in the excavation site beyond the sand barrier. You can get outside through there." Bart says, "Sand barrier? You mean that huge wall you can see from your entrance?" Old Man Bal says, "Yes, that's it. On the other side is an old Ava excavation site. They built the wall when Ava was excavating here to keep the sand from falling in from above, but they've stopped work there now." Faye says, "So how do we open such a huge thing like that?" Bart says, "If it's a wall, you can probably break it down." Balthazar says, Hold your horses there, youngins. No matter how good a gear you have, you'll never break that wall down. It's much too strong. So let's make a deal. Bart says, a deal? Balthazar says the wall was closed due to the reaction of the sand sensors. Thanks to that, now I can't get through to the other side either. Maybe it happened when you two fell in here. Were you boys fighting up there or something? Faye says, you seem to be able to tell everything. Anyway, so what can we do about it? Balthazar says it's very simple, you just have to turn off the sand sensor switches. Doing that will keep the barrier from closing again. While you two are doing that, I'll open it up. Faye says, right, got it. Balthazar says the sensors are in 2 places. You should see their flashing red lights. Well, good luck then. Faye says, let's go, Bart. Old Man Bal says, oh, before you go, I can share some parts and fuel with you. Just talk to me whenever you need something, right? Bart says, thanks, old man. Well, we'll go and finish our part of the deal then. Alright, Old Man Balthazar says, now hurry and shut off the sand sensors, or do you have something else you want to ask? Got any parts to sell? Which do you want? For gear or character? First, changing the engine is a good idea, he says. Okay. Let's fill this thing back up with fuel. Give it a better engine. I guess we give it a better frame. We give it some better armor. I guess I picked up a bunch of these like extra armor things, so I should equip those. Get armor off, gear option, abilities, equip. Now let's just go with defense for now. Alright, hurry and shut off sand sensors. What has he got for the human parts? Alright, well, at least we've got the fuel filled up, because I was running out of that. Alrighty. So... Great Hall sand sensor disengaged. Okie dokie. Let's fill up my fuel again, since, apparently that runs out super quick. Where'd that creepy old guy go? Oh, he moved, okay. to get out of this hellhole. That's the beginning. Maybe I wasn't supposed to go up there. There we go. Fucking fall again? I don't know if I went over here before. Yeah, actually I do think I went this way. Of course, platforming. There we go. Alright, those are both of those stupid things then. Oh, good timing, says Balthazar. I was just about to open up the sand barrier now. Faye says, well done, old man. Balthazar says, our deal is done. Bart says, hey, old man, there's one thing I want to ask you. Balthazar says, what is it? Bart says, I've heard somewhere on this planet is a gear far superior to all others. I've heard that it was called the God Gear, and was made in ancient times, but hidden away somewhere. Do you know anything about it? Balthazar says, a man-made god created with the wisdom of God. Such a gear would have the power of 1,000 gears. In a wave of its arm it could destroy whole cities. Its battle cries would thunder in the heavens. You must be speaking of the Omni Gear. Bart says, you know of it? Then perhaps it was what you were speaking about in the tale you told us of the battle with God. Balthazar says, goodness gracious, you too, boy. Those stories were made to inspire man's soul, but they're just legends. They don't really exist. Old Man Ball says, anyway, allow me to take a look at your gears. It'll only take a little while, so wait here, please. Bart says, hey, wait, he's gone. Faye says, hey, Bart, do you think the gear in the story's buried in the ground somewhere? Bart says, I think that's what I've heard. Faye says, could one of the gears we are using possibly be it? Bart says, yeah, right. What are the chances of that happening? Bart continues, the gears that are excavated lately are usually only a few hundred years old. Nowhere nearly as old as the gear in that legend. Faye says, then why were they in the ground? Bart says, I don't know. There are no records except... Faye says, except what? Bart says, there must be some truth in the tales that they were buried after a great war. The bullet wounds covering most of the gear's armor would appear to confirm that. Faye says, you mean that there are no records from the last several hundred years? How about before that? Bart says, none from either period. The ethos controls all the records from that time period. Maybe they have some very ancient records too. All we know about our history is from the little pieces that we find for ourselves. Bart continues, anyway, Faye, what do you make of the old man? Faye says, what do you mean? Bart says, why would such an old man live all alone in this abandoned cave? Faye says, I don't know. Probably digging for ancient gears or something. Bart says, right, so you think so too. Faye says, hey, I just said that as a joke. Don't take all that stuff seriously. They're only legends, you know. Bart says, no, that old man is up to something. Old Man Bell says, this can't be. Bart says, what's wrong, old man? Old Man Bell says, is this your gear? Faye says, well, sort of. Balthazar continues, where did you get it? Faye says, I'm just borrowing it. This is the host for the spirit of the Slayer of God. Wait a moment, what did you just say? Balthazar says, nothing. I didn't say anything. Faye says, no, I heard you. You said Slayer of God. That's what you said, isn't it, old man? Old Man Bell says, your gears are fixed. You have no more business here. This is a bad time for me. Be on your way. Faye says, be on our way. Listen here, old man. Anywho, I've been kicked out, apparently. Alrighty. Maybe I have to, like, get out of the gears? I don't know. Really? Do you have to piss me off like this? Is that just how it goes? Currently the main power is off. Okay. Maybe I have to jump up there. Want to get on the gondola? Sure. Alright. Ava excavation site main power generator. Currently the main power is off. Turn on main power. Main power is turned on, operating normally. Want to get on the gondola? Yes. Alright, let's get back in my gear before I get attacked. Huh, what an idiot, trying to scare us with all show and no power. A fee. Anyway, it looks like that's the exit, says Bart. So it'll soon be adios to this old cabin. Faye exclaims. Bart says, what the? Faye says, get out of the way, Bart. Bart says, "Ooh, what the hell did you just do?" Faye says nothing. Bart goes, "Hey." Faye says, "Huh?" Bart says, "What do you mean, huh? What in blazes was that? Don't you know?" Faye says, "No. I don't know." Bart says, "That was incredible. You just blew that huge thing to pieces. Why didn't you use that technique a bit earlier?" Faye says, "I don't know that technique. I have no idea how I even did it." Bart says, "Oh well, I guess that doesn't matter. Anyway, thanks for helping me out." Faye says nothing again. Bart says, "So now that we've got rid of that nuisance, let's get out of here, eh, Faye?" Alright. I'll just climb up this bullshit. Okay, there's like a hole or something. Okay. Bart says, "Wow, I never thought we'd end up here." Faye says, "Where are we?" Bart says, "You see the twin mountains way over there? That's where Bledavik, the royal capital of Ava, and Fatima Castle are located. Currently there's no king living there, though. Anyway, that's my old hometown." Faye says, "Hometown?" Bart says, "I'd like to go ahead and settle our dispute, but considering how close we are to the capital of Ava, we'd probably get caught." Faye says nothing. Bart says, "Hey, stop looking so glum, chum. I guess I'll have to get you back to your friend soon, or you'll die from fretting or something. Anyway, the rendezvous point with the Yggdrasil is right over there. Don't worry, you'll be meeting your friend in no time at all." Citan says, "Faye, I was worried about you." Faye says, "Doc." "Welcome to the sand cruiser Yggdrasil. We apologize for that earlier incident." Mason is apparently the butler's name. He says, "I'm sure everyone has already had the courtesy to introduce themselves, but allow me to introduce the Sand Pirates' leader, Master Bartholomew." Mason says, "By the way, may I ask, young master, did you apologize to Master Faye?" Bart says, "What? Yeah, I told him I was wrong, right?" Faye says nothing. "Just telling someone you were wrong after the event isn't gonna solve everything, young master," says Sigurd. "I'm sorry I've delayed introducing myself. My name is Sigurd," says Sigurd, "the first mate of this sand cruiser." Mason says, "Well then, please let me know if you need anything." Bart says, "That's the situation, so now forgive me, will ya?" Sigurd says, "Young master, stay out of mischief." "Ow, ow, ow, don't pull my ears." Citan says, "Let us go and wait in our cabin until we arrive. It is well made and comfortable." Faye says nothing. Citan says, "What is wrong? You look down." Faye says, "No, well..." Citan asks, did something happen?" Faye says, "No, nothing." God, he's gotta be a riot at parties. Just fucking being all silent and shit. Some guy asked me what I want to do with my gear. Let's heal them Apparently he has better parts, so that's cool, I guess. This door leads through the hall. Let's see if there's anything else I need to check out. Guess I can't go that way or that way. Let's go this way. This is just like a bunk, I guess? We're almost at the base. Ooh, we can finally rest. Do you want to take a rest? I'm gonna say yes. That's the nurse. Who do you want to weigh? Yeah, they don't appear to be saying anything terribly interesting. That's still that room. This guy's saying gun room and engine room are that way, apparently. Let's check that out first. Mason says, I hope you are not too taken back. Lately there are far too many highly energetic lads around the young master. So yours truly, who is in charge of education, demanded to have this room created. But because of that, I ended up having to take a side job. How may I be of service? Let's see what kind of weapons you have, brah. We got power ring, stamina ring, speed ring, and guardian ring. Okie dokie. I hope I can be of such service again. Alright, that is useless. Engine room. Apparently, the young master is more reliable than we originally think, because he's helped and saved the engine before. That's cute, I guess. That's some room with no one in it. Alright. Crest or something. Alright, let's GTFO and go over here and maybe up to this thing. And let's maybe save. White says, we're almost at my hideout. Sigurd says, we're almost at the hideout. We'll probably stop there for a while for supplies and repairs. This thing is auto-driving itself to the hideout. Everybody seems happy to see the young master alive. Bart, good to see you back. Everyone says welcome back. Bart, what did you bring us? Well, I've got a new model gear and 2 people that we helped out. Gear? How boring. Don't you have anything more interesting? I thought you'd say that. Look, this is amber I found in a stalagmite cavern under the desert. It's rare to find one with a bug in it. Like from Jurassic Park. Wow, thanks, Bart. We got some amber. What's that? Let's go. We gotta show it off to everyone. Well then, I'm gonna tune up my gear a little bit. Why don't you two go have some tea with old Mason? Thanks, old Mason. Mason says, please, walk this way. Mason says, this is the residential section. Walk this way. Oh, jeez. I gotta walk now, apparently. Mason says this is the dining hall. I'm sorry, it's so gauche. Please take a seat. Perhaps you would like some of my famous tea, Master Fay, good doctor? Young visitors are rare indeed. The young master must be very happy. If things were normal, we wouldn't be living in the desert, but rather back in the royal palace. Royal palace? You mean that young one is connected to the old Fatima dynasty? Mason says, pardon? No, I'm just a senile old fool who talks too much. Pay no attention to what I just said. Ha 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 ha. But that one-eyed youth does have a certain bearing, said Seitan. Mason says, oh, well spoken, sir. Awfully good of you to notice. If I may, I would like to tell you, the young gent is the last forgotten reminder of the once proud Fatima dynasty, that is, before it was destroyed by Shakan's minions. Prince Bartholomew Fatima. Bartholomew, Ed Bart IV's successor? I am sure they announced Bartholomew died of an illness 12 years ago. Mason says, officially yes, however in reality we rescued the young prince from Shakan's evil grasp. Seitan says, then why must the prince, the rightful heir, resort to piracy? Mason is silent. Mason continues, since fleeing here, we have had only one wish, that the young master would grow up to be a great man. Seitan says, not to reclaim the throne? Mason says that is correct. Of course, to say we have absolutely no desire to restore his rule would be a lie. We have plans for that as well. Seitan says, and part of those plans would include piracy? Mason says, well, yes, but there is a reason for that. Both Ava and Kislev are devoted to excavating the ruins. Each country's strength is increasing daily. Even if we could get the help of all our comrades to start a revolution, the combined strength of all of us would still not be enough. We would certainly be suppressed by Shakan's guards in no time at all. We needed power. We tried excavating the ruins using the Yggdrasil, but it didn't work as well as we expected. Excavating requires tremendous amounts of time, labor, and capital. The best we can do with our sand cruiser is find small items in the sand. And the piracy, says Seitan. Mason replies, regardless of who gains the ruins technology, one thing is certain. Both Kislev and Ava will simply use that power to oppress the other. I agreed with the young master's idea of creating a new power to balance things out a little. Seitan says, I see. It is far more effective to plunder from the shadows than to excavate the technology oneself. Mason says, of course, pillaging is an unpardonable act. However, for Ava, for Ignis, to continue like this... I'm sorry if it sounds rather self-righteous. Seitan says, that is something which outsiders like ourselves cannot comment upon. From what you have told me, I feel that the result of what you are doing will be good. Seeing your children here tells me that. Mason says, I am much relieved by your words. Mason continues, another cup of tea? Seitan says, yes please, and thank you. You mentioned you had plans. Why have you not put them into action, says Seitan. Mason says, with Miss Margie imprisoned, we dare not do anything. Citan said, she would not happen to be Nissan's. Mason says, you are well informed, my dear doctor. She is the great mother, Marguerite, of Nissan, and the young master's cousin as well. Citan says, why would Shakan take her captive? Mason says, for the Fatima Jasper. Citan says, the Fatima Jasper that is said to show where great treasure is. Mason says, my good doctor, you do know an awful lot. I am most impressed. Mason says, you do not like my tea, Master Fay. Fay says, no, I'm just not thirsty now. Mason says, well, we have no idea what the great treasure actually is, but it is said to be strong enough to save our kingdom if it is ever in plight. Citan says, and Marguerite has the jasper that tells the location. Mason says, only half of it to be precise. The young master and Miss Marguerite each have half. Only by combining the two halves will anyone know where the treasure is. Citan says, what exactly is the Fatima Jasper? When you say a half of the jasper, I imagine some kind of necklace. Mason says, only the heirs to Ava and Nissan know what it really looks like. Citan says, I see, so that is why they have her locked up. My guess is that when they do find out, her chances of living are not... I apologize. I simply mean, I was only supposing the worst case, so please do not take it to heart. Mason says, no, that is a terribly realistic scenario. Citan says, ahem, what exactly do you mean by great treasure? Mason says, well, I haven't the foggiest. The gear, he means the gear. It has to be it, says Bart from across the room. Mason replies, young master, are the gears all right? Bart says, yeah. Even though they were sealed, sand's gotten into the joints. It's a pain in the neck to fix, so I'm having the crew take care of it now. My job is just to pilot them anyway. Besides, I'm bad with machines, so I just get in the way. Mason says, young master, and pours him a cup of tea. Bart says, anyway, what were we talking about? Citan says whether the great treasure can be a gear. Bart says, oh yeah, you know, something like that is drawn in one of the Ava picture scrolls. Citan says, picture scrolls? Bart elaborates, well, if you're interested, then let's go to the planning room. I'll show you what I mean, since you're my special guests. Citan says that sounds interesting. Faye is apparently mute. Where the flock did these flockers go? You look tired. Maybe shopping will perk you up. What do you want? Oh wow, look at all that stuff. Oh, okay, so they had better stuff. If you want anything, let me know. Where'd these assholes go? Citan says this place is incredible. They probably do not even have equipment like this in the capital. Bart says, surprised? All this technology is thanks to Sigurd, I guess. The first mate guy. Bart says, hey Faye, don't stand on the screen, we won't be able to see. Bart says, alright men, display my special file on the main screen. Titan says, what is this? Bart says, a picture scroll nearly 500 years old. This is King Fatima I, body cloaked in flames, making a blood oath with giants. They say he used the strength of the giants to found Ava. Titan says, it is amazing that such an ancient scroll exists, and in such good state, too. I thought the ethos controlled all such things as these. Bart says, normally, yes, but this was one of my father's prized possessions. Next. Bart continues, after founding the country, Fatima forced the giants into slumber to protect his kingdom's people if needed in the future. But we don't know where they are hidden. In another record, one of the giants is called the Great Fatima Treasure. Titan says, what about the Jasper? Bart says, hey, you sure know a lot. Perhaps you're one of Shakan's spies. Titan says, of course not. It is only an intellectual interest. Bart continues, just kidding. It appears the Jasper is the key to finding our treasure. Titan says, a key? Could that be what Shakan is looking for? Bart says, not just him. Gebler is also looking for it. Titan says, really? Then we must rescue Marguerite as soon as possible. Bart says, you're telling me. Bart continues, since we helped you, I was wondering if I could in turn ask you a favor. Titan says, would that be for us to help you rescue her? Bart says, bright boy, that's exactly it. I heard from Sigurd, it seems that both Ava and Kislev are after you, so we can help you and you can help us. How about it? It's not much to ask. Titan says, well, if it pays for my room and board, then I will help in any way I can. What do you think, Faye? You have not said anything for a while. Bart says, yeah, you were great back there in that stalagmite cave. Your strength alone is greater than 10 or 20 of Shakan's guards. Faye continues to say nothing. Bart says, I'd love to have your power on my side. Faye says, why does everyone want to make me fight? Bart says, huh? What's wrong with you all of a sudden? Faye, somebody calls. I just don't feel like it. Love to have my power. I don't have any. What's wrong with you, Doc? Everyone, you're driving me to the brink. Then there's that gear, Graf, and my father. I don't have the time to help you out with your problems when I've got enough of my own. What a whiny bitch. Alright, Bart says, what's with him? Is he always that short-tempered? Titan says, no, that is not it. I am sorry. Things have happened so fast that he has not had time to deal with it all yet. Try to understand. We're gonna help service gears now. Yay, let's go. Okie dokie. I'm not quite sure where I'm supposed to go. This child is raping me. Okay. Nothing else in there. I don't think I'm supposed to leave. Where the hell do I go? Oh, maybe this thing. I can go do maintenance in the gear hangar if I want, whatever that means. Wow, this place is ginormous. Where in the fuck do I go? This guy says, this is your gear, right? This one's worth tinkering with. It makes use of some incredible technology. I'm gonna look it over a bit so you can come back later. Parts gear. I don't know where the fuck I'm supposed to go. lost down there. I'm gonna just say good riddance to that. Oh boy. Maybe he's in his room? Like, Bart says, boy, what's up with this Faye guy? I try and become his friend and he suddenly explodes in anger. Well, looks like he's got a lot on his mind. I don't want to force him, but he would be fun to fight. Maybe I'll ask again. If I lie in wait under the elevator... ... Maybe he means this elevator? Bart says, can I have a second? Sure. Citan told me all about your story. Do you want to talk about it? Says Bart. Why don't you tell me? It sounds pretty rough. Listen, I'm sorry for being a jerk just now, continues Bart. Forgive me, will ya? Anyway, sorry to bring it up again, but... Faye says no. Bart says what? Faye says I don't like fighting like you do. I only got into that gear because I had to. I'd rather not ride them. If you want that gear so much, then you can have it. I don't want it. Bart says, you think I like fighting. Is that it? Faye says, don't you? Sure looks that way. It looks like the only thing you do enjoy is fighting. Bart says, I can't let that slide. Who likes fighting? Take it back. Like it or not, I fight because I have to. I've got my reasons, but you wouldn't understand. Faye says, well, I don't have a reason to fight. I don't want to fight. I just want to live in peace and quiet. But you people keep on hounding me to get into a gear. Why don't you just leave me alone? Bart says, it's because I see your skill and think. Faye interrupts him and says, well, I hate it. Whenever I get in a gear, people get hurt. If I fight, people die. I don't want to hurt people. I don't want anyone to die. I hate it. Can't you see that? Bart says, yeah, I know the feeling of just wanting to run away from reality. But do you think the kids left behind in your village would understand? Bart continues, Citan told me what happened in Lahan. Would it have been better if you had done nothing? Sure, that happened because you were in the gear, but even if you hadn't, people would have died, right? You weren't the reason. War. No, the people who started the war are the reason, and unless you get rid of the reason, nothing will change. I fight to get rid of the reason. Right now there is no other way, so I have to fight. But that doesn't mean I enjoy it. Bart continues, I understand why you would feel guilt toward the kids in your village, and I know why you don't want to harm others. But if you want to make it up to those children, don't you have to fight? You do have a reason to fight, a reason you must fight. But as long as you ignore it and continue to run away, those kids will never forgive you. Just remember that. Oh, and another thing, I'm not saying that not helping me is running away. You don't have to help. This is my own problem. I don't want to get you in this against your will. But if I had your skill, I could bring all of this to an end, and make it up to those kids. At least that's what I think. Anyway, sorry to hold you up. The mechanic wanted to talk to you about your gear. You probably don't care now, but at least hear what he has to say. Faye is apparently going to continue saying nothing. Okie dokie. I think the gears were down here. Oh, whoops. Alright, let's just be, like, kind of... I don't know. Is it this? Alright, well, here's the guy. Alright, the mechanic says, looks like someone really knew how to tune up your gear. Attack, defense, ether, amplification, an exceptionally balanced machine. But we don't seem to be able to dismantle some parts to see what they do. I guess you could call them black boxes. There are quite a number of them on this machine. Do you have any idea what they actually do? Faye says no. Faye looks at Welltall, sadly, I guess. Faye says, Sigurd, Doc, what's up? Sigurd says, we would like to have a word with you. Faye says, oh, okay. Sigurd says, look over there. Bart is thinking, hey Dad, can you hear me? Ever since I first looked in Faye's eyes, I knew. He's the same as me, he'd understand me, or so I thought. Did I just imagine it? I have no confidence. If I follow after you, Dad, it'll just be like I'm some decoration. At the moment, I can't even carry out your will, let alone rescue Margie. I told him he was only running away, but I'm really the one who wants to run away. Sigurd says, the young master asked me to apologize to you. Pretty strange, huh? He knows it's best to apologize in person, but the young master isn't all that good with this sort of thing. He may not look it, but he's really quite lonely. He's always searching for a friend. We, his minders, can't become his friends, even if we wanted to. He just wouldn't see us that way, and he knows that. Why, you ask? It's because of the burden that he bears. It must be difficult for one so young to carry so heavy a responsibility, but he does try to do his best, you know? That is why we stick by him. It has nothing to do with him being the prince. Faye, I sense you two are carrying a heavy burden. This might be a selfish request, but would it be possible for you to help the young master? I'm not asking you to burden yourself with his problems or responsibilities, but could you two, with whatever it is only you two each know, help the other, please? Faye says, I'm sorry. I need time to think. Sigurd says, of course. Take your time. It is completely up to you. Whatever you decide, we will be leaving early tomorrow. After you've finished preparing for tomorrow, you probably should get some rest. You can use the bedroom in the residential area above. Seitan says, I wish to speak to Sigurd some more. You go ahead and get some rest. Let me see. Oh, Alright, I guess I'm supposed to take a nap or something? Is this the nap room? Alright. I think here's a good spot for me to stop. My throat is getting a little scratchy. Let me just go over by this guy so I remember I need to take a nappy poo. Well, thanks for watching. I'll be back with part 3 probably tomorrow.